I think the internet should be better now. Kusabi family. I think this is better. I think the internet is better because last time it was, we kept seeing things just freeze. Is it better this time? Is it better now? The last time I know I was on here, it was the numbers. Everything was all botched up. Are we good now? We're gonna look at a couple of scriptures on what we are preparing for, right? Like, why is Yisolele or our people so important to the Father? There's a reason. Why did he choose to bring you into a covenant? Why is the enemy doing everything that he can to disrupt you from that covenant? Why? If he has the rest of the nations, why does he come after you? What is it about you? Why does the Father choose you over every single nation that there is? The Father wanted to make sure that you know it was nothing about you. It had nothing to do with you. Inside of your names is your purpose. The Messiah tells us already from the beginning. He already tells us the end. The ending of all things is salvation comes from where? Our people. Now, this name, Jews, is, how can I put it? A mask. It's clothing. It's a covering to cover up the real people. Now, the real people are here in here as well, but it tells you who the real people are. Let me show you. Okay. So, salvation comes from and you can see how it works perfectly. He put in Jews, right? Now, the truth, just like the tree of knowledge of good and evil, was in the midst of the garden. So the truth has to be here somewhere. Salvation comes from the iwi. Look, salvation comes from the iwi. Salvation comes from the iwi. Or Evere, as people say sometimes. Look, iwi is actually not just a name, but it's also a name of a people. Watch. Iwi. Look what it says right there. A female she, but watch this. Iwi is sometimes confused with you, which will be what? The same thing as probably as Jew. Wait a minute, hold on.
You.
See, you. And that's what they exactly say about us. When you put in iwi, it's gonna put in you. It's gonna put in you. Watch. Told you.
You.
You. You. Oh my goodness. You. You will be the same thing as you or you. See?
You.
So we got you and
You.
But this you, what about it comes up into you again? You. Now, what sound does why you make? Is it making a sound almost like you? Ew. This is the name of a
You.
people and a person. Look, a member of a people of Ghana, Togo, or Benin, the Kawa language of the Ewe. We are taking a sheep prepared for the slaughter. Look where the ewe resides. Right there in the eye. Right there. Look. See, they took off the
You.
E the other E on there, but it's the same thing how they see our language. Ew. Used to express disgust or distaste. When they saw our locks, they didn't call them locks. They called them dreadlocks. But the real name is for it is locks. Why? Because Ezekiel said he was taken by one of his locks. He didn't say dreadlocks, but he was taken in the spirit by one of his locks. All right, let me see. Find that. Must not be this one. It's gotta be there. I must have got it from here. Here it is. Ezekiel 8 and 3. Ezekiel 8 and 3. Look at this. He's going into the spirit. And tell me about this. He grabbed him by his lock, showing the significance of a lock. This lock is used in translating him into the place where the Father wanted him to go. Watch this. He stretched out what looked like a hand and took me by the hair of my head. Now, that sounds good and dandy. You know what I'm saying? But that's like deep because now we need to know something simple. Now, watch this. See how deep it is? Hair of my head. It's going to be the simple is about to go deep. Took me by the hair of my head. Now, what kind of hair or style do Ezekiel have? What kind of hair? I just need to know that. You know what I'm saying? We need to know what kind of style a hair. What style of hair does this person have? What style? Then I looked and saw a figure. Watch this. It said hair of head. So the simple was about to go deep. The spirit lifted me up between the earth and heavens. He said, by his hair. So his hair was used almost like a conduit into the spirit. Conduit. He didn't take him by the hand. He took him by the hair of his lock. Oh, but it don't say that though. It says he took me by the hair of my head. Let's see what the other one say. He reached out what seemed to be hand. Oh, here, Father said, like, no, go see what I showed him first, and then go to the part where it says, all right. He stretched out what looked like a hand and took me by the hair of my head. Then the spirit lifted me up. Watch this, between earth and heaven, and carried me in the visions of Yah to Salama or Diaz Salama, to the entrance of the north gate of the inner court, where the idol that provokes jealousy was seated. And there I saw the glory of Yah of Yisrael, like the vision I had seen in the plain. Now, this place is still there. Why? So the Father took him into a vision and showed him a glimpse of the future. The vision he saw was not for his time, it was for a time to come. What he sees here is Christianity, the inner core with the idol that provokes jealousy. Whose jealousy? The world's jealousy or the Father's jealousy? Wait a minute. Dome of the Rock. Wait a minute. Men holding their bellies like women. The restoration of Israel and Judah. Yes, this is what y'all said. The cry of panic is heard, the cry of terror, not of peace. As now and see, can a male give birth? Why then do I see every man with his hands on his stomach like a woman and every face turn pale? How awful that day will be. None will be like it. It is the time of Jacob's distress, but he will be saved out of it. So let's go back to the meaning. I'm just skimming some things. Dome of the Rock. This is a reason why the enemy would mark this. See, provokes again with dome. All right. So we're gonna look at some things. Going back to it. I'm just getting some things like he's like that provokes jealousy. The dome of the rock, this provokes jealousy. Look, that's why it's got that color of gold on it. That gold color right there signifies one person only. It looks like a, watch this. It looks like a sun. So it's only one person and one person only who would have that there. Lucifer, meaning what? Son when it rises in the morning, Lucifer, son of
Lucifer.
the morning. Morning star. Dome on the rock, morning star. So I believe when the split was between them, that he's seeing something what becomes of the place that the people once were at. This will be the northern kingdom, not the um, southern kingdom. The place where originally started at will be Judah. This will be the place where the split took place and where they split to. He stretches out um, what looked like a hand and took me by the hair of my head. Then the Spirit lifted me up between earth and heaven and carried me in the visions of the Father to Salama, to the entrance of the north gate, to the entrance of the north gate of the inner court, where the idol that provokes jealousy was seated. And there I saw the glory of Yah of Yisrael. I like the vision I had seen in the plain. Now let's see what it is that caused him to see into the future like that. He put the form of a hand and took me by the lock of my head. Now that's a little bit different just saying hair. He took me by the hair. Different connotation, different feel. Cause when you see hair, oh, it just had hair. But another thing when you see that the hair is locked. It's different. Totally different. So this person has locked hair. Notice to say dread in front of it. It says lock. So where did dreadful come from? It came from the white people who refused to acknowledge what we have or what we got going on. So they called our hair dreadful. And that's where dreadlocks came from. That's where it came from. So may the Father's will be done in learning our heritage and learning who we are. But the most interesting thing what I saw was that as something took place, that's when we became a new nation. Not before, but only after this certain thing that took place. Then we became a new nation. So he took him in the spirit by the lock of his hair. See, by the lock of his head, the spirit lifted me up between earth and heaven and brought me in the visions of Yah to Yisrael, to the entrance of the gateway of the inner court that faces north. There was the seat of the image of jealousy which provokes to jealousy. So yeah, we have it says the seat. Where was the seat of the image of jealousy? Right. All right. So we're looking into the spirit, the soul of man, right? The spirit. What does the Bible say about the spirit? All right. The spirit of Yah spoke by me, and his word was on my tongue. So we see something happening. And the spirit of Yah spoke by me, and his word was on my tongue. Another thing, as for me, this is my covenant with them, says Yah, my spirit which is upon you, and my words which I put in your mouth shall not depart from your mouth, nor from the mouth of your offspring, nor from the mouth of your offspring's offspring, says Yah, from now and forevermore. For the Holy Spirit will teach you in the very hour what you ought to say. So far, what we're seeing is that it is the Father that is the Spirit. That's what we're saying. It's the Father's Spirit. And his word is spirit, and it is also life, right? Um, Matthew 10:20. For it is not you who speaks, but it's the spirit of your Father who speaks in you. So when people are about to, go into their judgment for not complying with the world or complying with what the enemy wanted to do with them, we will see something change. Like we can see in the scriptures where people are going to get beheaded, like truly beheaded. So with that being said, and people actually going to be beheaded, you're going to be beheaded on that time when you're about to be beheaded. You're not going to have to think on what you're going to say. No, it will be already in you to say what, meaning what? It'll be spirit speaking through you at that. So that's what we need to see. Like the spirit is going to be the one that's going to be occupying, right? All right. So when they arrest you and hand you over, listen what they're saying. They're going to arrest you. Now, when they arrest you, why are they arresting you? Did it say you was guilty of anything? But the time is going to be when those who are truly the Father's people and the ones who hate the Father's people. I think that's what's going to be. When a lot of things begin to start taking place in it's going to be something that this world has never ever seen, heard of, or thought of before. I mean, we've read it, but on that day when it takes place, people ain't gonna know what to think. They don't know what to believe. But that day is approaching mightily, mighty quickly, right? That's all I can say. Um, there is some stuff that's gonna be coming out of Claw Part 5 that is, I'm telling you, it's gonna be some excerpts of some excerpts and stuff. I mean, I'm gonna be saying things, and then literally the Father has his people who are speaking about what's happening. And people are not understanding what that is. So therefore, by the scriptures, whatnot, I'm putting everything in a perspective of how everything's going on. So even though these people are saying this is happening, I'm looking in the scripture where it says, "What this is going to happen?" This, so that therefore, when that happens, I mean, we have people who are giving testimony, and they are literally living to testify about what the Father says He will do, or will do, and is doing. And it's crazy because, like, um, the Father is the one who is showing them. So most people usually listen to their own. So with them listen to mostly to their own, they're having their own to come out and say and warn them, like, "Hey, this is what's going on." Just in case, you know, you haven't noticed, or just in case, it has not appeared to you, um, what appears to be going on right now, but something is happening. And you got people who's been sent to literally just uh, um, has been sent totally to bear record of what is taking place in the earth right now. They're sitting there um with their different, not weapons, but their different equipment. They got certain degrees where they searching things out. And these things that they're searching out are finding out to be very true, right? And a lot of people in the world, they don't know what's going on. And this person, you know, the people who does stuff like this, that comes out with these warnings to try to, I guess, wake people up, or like not wake them up, but like pour like it's like try to snap people into reality, right? Like, look, this is what's really happening. Don't believe the hype of what they're saying to you. That everyone knows that the government lies. And like, all right, so ever since people been realizing the whole stuff, people been lying, when they can no longer pull the wool over our eyes, that's why I went on and said, like, you know what, forget it. Let's kill everybody. That's where we at right now. So it doesn't matter how you die. We just want you to die. That is literally what's going on right now. Watch it. Over the years, we have found out that celebrities, musicians, all these people have sold their souls to the devil. So that means the ones who are higher up has to also be devil worshippers. So everything you seen on the screen, just like we seen with the Messiah, the enemy said, "Hey, if you will bow down and worship me, I will give you the kingdoms, all the kingdoms, every single last one you want. You ain't got to die for it. I'm gonna give it to you. All you gotta do is just show me an allegiance." The Messiah's like, "Nah, we ain't doing that. The only one you supposed to worship the Father." That was it. That's what we're saying, right? Whatever the Father has set before you as leadership, that is what you are supposed to honor, right? Now, I don't understand if we don't understand or just people in general do not see how this thing plays out. They already say it for you. Number one, you ain't getting nowhere without making a deal with Hasatan. Without making a deal with the devil. You just ain't gonna get out. If you want to get those kind of high plateaus, you're going to have to cut a deal. But you will no longer belong to yourself. You will now belong to him. And so the whole world sees this. They see all the magic, the smoke and screen, you know, everything that looks so real and was really not real. Seeing the fabulous cars, the fancy cars, the fancy houses, everything. The money that comes in just flowing down like water. And you don't really hear about these people's lifestyles or hear about hear about them, how they died. For years, we never heard how people die. We just seen in the papers, oh, so and so died. But now, with the internet, we hear the stories. People are coming out now after this person is long dead, coming out with stories, horrifying stories, saying this is how that person got their riches. Wait a minute. The generation who was listening to them was being deceived. They was not privy to this information. It wasn't until after this person has died, then the other people come in that people see how these people have lived their life and how they have got what they got, right? That can only go on for so long. Only go on for so long. And in our generation, they said to ask about the Illuminati, meaning what? They was looking for recruits. And Jay-Z was up here, putting up the so-called, he said the rock, but it wasn't a rock. It was literally witchcraft. The whole entire thing has been the American dream. And there is another language in this world that's happening right now that most people are not privy of. They don't even understand it. They see it, can't even grasp it. But you can grasp this though. How many people went to a church where for a definite there were people there who was going to church, but also were Freemasons, Eastern Stars, you name it. Majority of the people who went to church was Freemasons. Most people in the military are Masons. If you hear a person going to the lodge, you know how you be older or be younger. Your grandma be like, all right, granny about to go to the lodge. Where are they going? There's only one lodge. Military. The military lodge is Freemason. You don't get to different places because of your skill. how much you willing to sell out. And the ones who sell out are the ones who seem to come up quickly. They seem to have a better life, better than everyone else, because they belong to a brotherhood. So a lot of people who grew up around us, who they had a little something. Most of those people who had a little some, little years later on, you'll find out, oh, there was Freemasons. How many people went to a church where they was so happy to hear about a person who just received their ring? You know, gave 50 years of your life or 40 to receive a ring. Because then they say, while they in the church, now I can receive inside of the church. Now watch this. And it's gonna come out in the car part 5. They said that America is founded on Christian values. And then people find out that George Washington and all them, the founding fathers, were Freemasons. Every single last one of them. But it was founded on Christian values. I'll let you work that out with the spirit. One person says one thing, the other person says another. They all think they're different. They are not. One's the good witch, one's the bad witch. One's the black witch, the one that dressed in, black. The other one is the white witch, the one that dresses in white. Both are witches. Neither are supposed to be suffered or allowed to be living. That's exactly how America has got to where she has gotten to by playing with witches and warlocks. She herself is the daughter of Babylon. She's the daughter of witchcraft. The American dream is literally what it is. It's not real. None of it exists at all. So, what do we have to do right now? We have to prepare ourselves for what's coming. They've been telling you what they're going to do to you in movies. But most people just don't look at them like that. They look at them as just movies. Hunger Games. The Maze Runner. So this new world order that's coming in, they're telling you how they see you in the movies. You're always being experimented on. Can anybody tell me how much this jab has been experimented on? Who would receive this first? Because if you are the first people to ever receive this jab and it's never been tested nowhere else, what's up on you? Ain't that called an experiment? Oh yeah, that's the same thing they did with the Maze Runner. There was this testing this spirit thing on. There was experimenting with them. Divergent. They was doing an experiment again. You are, and the higher ups, they're living good. They're living wealthy. They're the ones who overseeing the project. They send in some of their own people, put them under, so they don't even realize that they're a part of the problem the whole entire time while they've been mingled in among you. And it's inside of them to make sure to arise as the savior in all your situations. Why? So the credit will go right back to them. So the Father is going to push everything out that's going to take away his glory. Every single thing. The ones who are not made for his glory will meet a horrible story, horrible ending. I'm talking about certain religions. Well, in the religion of Islam, they believe in beheading. When you begin to look a little bit deeper into practices that are around you, you start to find out also that a lot of people around you believe in beheadings too. Let me show you something real quick to show you. For all the young ladies who love Chanel purses. Woohoo! Watch this. Yeah, buddy. Look like Chanel been busy, ain't she? Are you ready? Now, what you need to look at is this. You need to look at this right here. Now, why are we doing this, right? During Biden's 4-day tour of Rex 84 FEMA camps, Biden was giving demonstrations of fully modern and humane guillotines. Why is Biden showing demonstrations of guillotines? Can someone please tell me why is the president or the so-called president right now of the United States of America is giving he's seeing guillotines for a presentation. This one right here, buddy, just do the job quickly. Just come right down on him, just snap right on off. It's just it. It's just gonna pop right on off. It's just gonna just cut right through it like it's butter. Over here, President. This one, you ought to check this one out. Why is he giving a demonstration on the guillotine? Why? Why? What is coming up that they want to show him? Hey, buddy, look at this one. You ain't seen a guillotine like this one. This one gets right in there. Now you got to think about it. Who have literally funded them all these years to get what they're getting? The masses, the people. Now watch for those who don't really see what I'm saying. Let me make it a little bit more clear. All right, guillotine. Let's make it Chanel logo. My bad. Bloody logo. Okay. Okay. Now I can see the picture now. Okay, I get it. Makes more sense now. I get it. Yep. Look when it started. 2011. So they've been planning this for a while. They've been planning for a while. Just saying. Chanel, what are you planning on doing with these guillotines right here? What you plan on doing with them, huh? What do you plan on doing with these guillotines? Why do you have guillotines with your name on it? Why? I mean, just why do you have guillotines with your name on it? Look at this. Not your typical Chanel and Prada goods. The same ones you've been supporting has been plotting your death. Same ones. The same ones you've been supporting is plotting your deaths. Plotting them. Just saying. It's not your typical Chanel and Prada goods. They're getting ready for the camps. Look at this. Camp toilet. Is that Prada on there? Or is it just FEMA? This is you awaiting your death. Prada toilet, 1996. Wow. The head gets cut off, bowling pin. Wow. So they've been telling you for a while now what's going to happen. This is what we headed to. The cure for cancer is this is where you're headed. This is exactly where what's coming. When you've been turned over. Why? Because you're about to be killed. So you're about to say your last words. And your last words, if you belong to the Father, is going to be a witness against them. But it also means that you are with him. The ones who the Father is going to speak through, that they have room for his spirit. So the part where the scripture says, think not on what you're going to say. See, when they arrest you, salvation is going to come from the Ewus or the Jews or Judah or the tribe of Judah, the nation of Judah. Judah, which means what? Praise, right? Salvation comes from praise. When they arrest you and hand you over, do not worry beforehand about what you are to say, but say whatever is given you in that hour. For it is not you who speak, but it is the what? Holy Spirit. Meaning what? They're coming to arrest you. Do not worry about what you are to say. You're gonna say to them what? This your words most likely is going to land you to death. Okay. Because like if he's speaking over, it's like, hold on, let me speak over and let me speak for you. You're about to he's about to testify about you. So it's the same time, like, before, John, um, I believe was before he was decapitated, you see where the Messiah says, but what did you go out to see? Watch this. So before John gets decapitated, right? Now we got to understand, we got to look at some parallels, right? Herod had John beheaded, right? So let's see when it happens. Herod beheads John, right? Wow. September 11th. Wow. That's different. Okay. John the Baptist beheaded, right? Now we need to see, when does this happen? He said, what did you go out to see? See, the word, which is the same thing as the spirit, right? The word testifies about John. So whatever, in the end, it won't be you speaking. It will be the Father who speaks through you. It will be the word who speaks through you. Those who are his sheep, the word will speak for you for your last one, right? Okay, let's go. All right, so we're going to see what happened here first. The Messiah is testifying about John. All right, 11:7. What's happening? So it's John inquiry, right? So John inquires, like, all right, look at this. It came to pass when the Messiah had made an end of commanding his 12 disciples, he departed thence to teach and to preach in their cities. Now, when John had heard in the prison the works of the word, the works of the King, of the Messiah, right? He sent two of his disciples, which is the Son of Yah, the only begotten Son of Yah, and said unto him, art thou he that should come, or do we look for another? The Messiah answered and said unto them, go and show John again those things which you do hear and see. The blind receive their sight, the lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear, and the dead are raised up, and the poor have the gospel, and the poor have the gospel preached to them. And blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me. That was for John himself. Like, look, don't be offended in me. Right? Hold on. You're almost to your reward. Now the Messiah is prophesying now. He is speaking about John. He's testifying about him. As they departed, the Messiah began to say unto the multitude concerning John, what went ye out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken with the wind? But what went ye out for to see? Like, what drew you? What brought you in? A man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they that wear soft clothing are in kings' houses. But what went ye out for to see? A prophet. You came to hear what? You came to hear the word. That's what he's saying. He says, you came to John because John had a word in his mouth that no one else had. He said, he's like, did you come out to see John? Why? Because he was performing something, a reed shaking in the wind. Like, was he scared? But what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Did you hear him to give a decoration? No. But what he said, they that wear soft clothing are in king's houses. But when ye went out to see a prophet, what a prophet has? The word of Yah. It had to let you know what is going on, what is coming, who is coming, where it's coming from, what you should do to prepare. That's why you went out to see. You came out to see, you were seeking the face of Yah. You were seeking his guidance. You were seeking truth. That's why you went out, because a prophet is going to bring forth truth. You came out here for the truth. And watch this. Now he's about to lift them up. He says a prophet, and then the only begotten Son of Yah includes and says what? He says, yes, he is a prophet. But watch this. Yea, I say unto you, and more than a prophet. Now watch this. I want y'all to get this now. John would be that second witness. We're starting to see this thing. Like the name of the second witness is going to be most likely, like I said, John. But this is he of whom it is written, Behold, I send my messengers before my face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. Now we have a John the Revelator who literally sits on the bosom, who laid on the bosom of the Messiah. Like, you don't get no real than that. You don't get no real than that. So it's keep speaking forth what the name of the messenger is, and he puts it in there as a parable right there. Behold, I send my messenger before my face, which shall prepare the way before thee. He just told you his name right there. Just told it to you. Usabi family. Um, let me see. Verily I say unto you, watch this. Among them that are born of women, there have not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he, the other messenger before his face. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent taketh it by force. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. And if you will receive it, watch this. This is Elijah or Elias, which was for to come. He, watch this, that hath ears to hear, let him hear. Meaning what? When the word tells you something, it's already let you know. But if you yourself believe what you want to believe, that's left on you. But he told you that someone had already come. Elias in Hebrew is who? None other than Eliyahu, which is Elijah. He said Elijah has come. So people are going to be looking for Elijah to come. He was like, hey, if you could receive it, Elijah has already come. And he said John the Baptist was Elijah. But whereunto you shall I liken this generation? And it is like unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows and saying, We have piped unto you, and you have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and you have not lamented. For John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say, He hath a devil. Now watch why he put himself right in there with John. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, Behold, a man gluttonous and a wine bibber, a friend of politicians or publicans and sinners, but wisdom is justified of her children. It's powerful. I love it. So we need to see now. Says Matthew, John is beheaded. Let's see when he is. Now remember, John is literally in the scriptures right here. Look, John the Baptist beheaded. So Matthew 14, Matthew 11. So watch this. He is speaking already for him right here what's going on before he's beheaded. He's giving testimony for him. Tell you about John. Why? Because something's about to happen to John. Here it is. The beheading of John. Not many chapters after, right? At that time, the Tetrarch heard of the fame of the Messiah, right? And said unto his servants, This is John the Baptist. He is risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him. For Herod had laid hold on John and bound him and put him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother's Philip's wife. For John said unto him, it is not lawful for you to have your brother's wife. And when he had put him to death, when he would have put him to death, he feared the multitude because they counted him as a prophet. So like Herod wanted to kill him, a while back, but he feared John. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod, whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask. And she, being before instructed of her mother, it was a plot against him. See, it's the same thing is going on right now. Give me here John Baptist's head in a charger. And the king was sorry, nevertheless, for the oath's sake. The oath's sake. There is an oath that's about to be performed on millions, billions of people. An oath. Sometimes oaths are bathed in blood. They're going to give way for mass murdering. When they begin to start to behead people, it is going to be in a charge of mass murdering. Let me tell you now, they're not going to care about how old you are, how young you are. If you're not a part of their sect, meaning if you're not a part of their brotherhood, they are going to kill you, right? If you're not a part of their brotherhood, they're going to kill you. That's what it means. So the New World Order is already here. It's been here. And what they've been saying for a long time is you're not invited. They have been holding out literally their own ceremonies before you. How many people have money to pay for tickets to go see a Grammys Awards? Notice the ones who are invited. Have you ever received an invitation with your name on it saying, come to the Grammys? If not, it's because they're holding stuff without you being invited. So when this whole thing kicks off and it's already here for the most part, they just need a blood sacrifice. Where do you think they're going to get it from? Where do you think they've been getting it from? Everyone dying from this vaccine is a blood sacrifice. They are literally do not care about mass murderings. It's about to commence. And they've been telling you over the years without you realizing it. They don't want the chickens or the people to run. We need you for a sacrifice. All right. Now, but when Herod's birthday, all right, so he gave him an oath. Nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it be given her. And he sent and beheaded John in the prison. And his head was brought in a charger and given to the damsel, and she brought it to her mother. And his disciples came and took up the body and buried it and went and told the Messiah. So he lost his cousin, beheading. Now, why are we bringing that up? Because he's telling you, those who are followers of him, some of you might have to suffer for my name's sake. But I want you to know before you suffer, before you say anything, understand that it is me who is going to speak through you your last words. When they arrest you and hand you over, do not worry beforehand about what you are to say, but say whatever is given you in that hour. For it is not you who speak, but it is the what? Holy Spirit. Now, if you don't have no room for the Holy Spirit to speak through you, What's the whole point? How he's going to, see what I'm saying? There's got to be room. So the Father made man with room for himself, with room for a demon. That's why people conjure up spirits, they conjure up demons to come into their bodies, their souls. So man, as the Messiah said, was said body and soul, which is also the same thing as your spirit. But if you can have another spirit come into you, how does that make sense? Your body is the operation. Look at this. If there's already a spirit there, as the world say spirit, we say soul, or man became a living spirit, how you want to say it. But either way it goes, it's the two part, body and soul. That's what we see in scripture. Then we see there's got to be room for the Father to come in to sit inside of man's body, soul, which he will be the spirit. He will be the spirit. Because either you will have the spirit of the Father or the spirit of a demon. There is no way around that. So man is made to be able to have something else in him. But if you're already that thing per se, then where is this room for it? See? So the Messiah says his words is spirit and they are life. My words, they are spirit and they are life. Right? The spirit, watch this. The spirit gives life, the flesh profits nothing. Now, he says, the words that have spoken to you are spirit and they are life. So the spirit, so the word gives life. So then what part would be the flesh that profits nothing? Ooh. Is he talking about your body? Because that's what the church say. Your body profits nothing. And everyone's always saying spiritual, spiritual. When the Messiah just said that his words are spirit and they are life. And then he says the flesh profits nothing. What is this flesh? Let me show you what it means. What he's saying is, he just said your thoughts profit nothing. He shot down. He said to you, literally, in Proverbs 3 and 5. That's what he just said to you. He just said the same exact thing that's been said in the Old Testament. But he said it in another way in this generation where you will understand what Proverbs was saying. So out of the Messiah's mouth, he is making plain to you the Old Testament. Since you need proof, boom, here I am. I am literally the Old Testament, the law and the prophets and everything written about me. I am here fulfilling it. I'm letting you see it in your face. And my words is going to be riddled with the Old Testament. For I would not have no words to say without the Old Testament. Look what he just said to you. Trust in Yah, then you will find favor and high regard. Is that not life? Then you will find favor and high regard in the sight of Yah and man. Trust in Yah with all your heart and lean on your own understanding. Right here, he just said life. Then the last part, it was spirit. When the Messiah spoke, he says, my words are spirit and they are life. He literally just said the same thing that Proverbs 3:5 has told us. Then you will find favor and high regard in the sight of Yah and man. My words are spirit and they are life. Favor, high regard with the Father, right? Next part. Trust in Yah with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. He just said to you right here, The spirit gives life. The flesh profits nothing. The spirit gives life. The flesh profits nothing. Does that make sense? The spirit gives life. The flesh profits nothing. The spirit gives life. Trust in Yah with all your heart and lean not on your own. Trust in Yah with all your heart. Other part. The flesh profits nothing. And lean not to your own understanding. Woo! Anyone get that? Anybody? Did anybody at all get that? Y'all get this? All right. So it's telling you the same thing the Proverbs 3:5 has told you. It's powerful, right? My sheep knows my voice, and a stranger voice they will not follow. He's saying, he's reiterating everything again. My sheep knows my voice, and a stranger's voice they will not follow. What is that saying? He is saying to you again, trust in Yah with all your heart. My sheep knows my voice. Trust in Yah with all your heart, and a stranger's voice they will not follow, and lean not to your own understanding. He is saying the same thing again. He keeps telling us to literally not to trust in our own thinking. My sheep knows my voice, and a stranger's voice they will not follow. Boom, right there. So again, it is the spirit that gives life, right? The spirit of the Father that gives life. The word gives life. The flesh, to lean to your own understanding, profits nothing, right? Right. So in that time, he don't want anything that's not gonna, he wants something that's gonna come out, that's gonna come to your profit, right? That's going to benefit you. So he's like, you know what? It's better if I, say your last regards rather than you say it. This is your going home party, and I don't want you to, mess it up. But they're taking you somewhere. Where they're taking you to be beheaded. They're about to kill you. They're about to cut off your head. This is Chanel. Now, what is Chanel? A lot of women might got Chanel right now in their restaurant. Chanel, um, cologne, right? Yeah, cologne for men, right? Chanel. This Chanel. So we've been funding for our own punishment the whole entire time. Because now Chanel got enough money, but they been had enough money to now bring out money, to bring out things where they ready to, you know, maybe their cologne wasn't selling and they got mad or something. So they went ahead and started, making guillotines, especially this one right here, bloody guillotines. Like, yeah, buddy, here's a Chanel symbol. Here's a Chanel um, guillotine. Here's the drippy Chanel dripping, dripping with blood. And here's the guillotine right here to match it. Just saying. Oh yeah, this would do the job too, right there, right? Just definitely do the job. Chainsaw, massacre right there. That'll definitely do the job. That'll do it. So, however, you bore with them for many years and admonished them by your spirit. What do you say? Encourage them through your spirit, by your spirit, through your prophets. Yet they would not give ear. Therefore, you gave them into the hand of the peoples of the lands. Again, here's the spirit shown again as a place for the Father. And when they did not agree with one another, they began leaving after Paul had spoken one parting word. The Holy Spirit rightly spoke through Isaiah, the prophet, to your fathers. And we are witnesses of these things, and so is the Holy Spirit, whom Yah has given to those who obey him. The Spirit and the bride say, come, and let the one who hears say, come, and let the one who is thirsty come. Let the one who wishes take the water of life without cost. Therefore, I make known to you that no one speaking by the Spirit of Yah says the Messiah is accursed, and no one can say the Messiah is Lord or Master except by the Holy Spirit. I'm bringing that out into call part 5. What I want to bring out is that the Messiah's name has never been, in a sense, I want to say said wrongly. He has just been called different names, right? Meaning what? No one's ever said the names we know now as an occurs, right? But it says no. Now watch this. No one who is speaking by the Spirit of Yah can say that the Messiah is accursed. Watch this. No one who is speaking by the Spirit of Yah can say Yeshaya, Isaiah is accursed. And no one can say Yeshaya is master, except, watch this, by the Holy Spirit. So every single person in the church that was saying, Jesus is Lord and all that stuff, they cannot say that Yeshaya is Lord or is master without the Holy Spirit. So that you know the Holy Spirit was not all around those things, right? Once the Father began to show us something different, we went with it. We're now in it. See? Now, there has never said this name in the church one time, which means this. There's no one can say his name without the Spirit. No one can call him, master without having his Spirit. No one, right? No one. No one has the ability. Therefore, I make known to you that no one speaking by the Spirit of Yah says the Messiah is accursed. And no one can say the Messiah is master except by what? By the Spirit. So if the Spirit inside of you that bears witness that you are his, the Spirit inside of you, which will be the Father. It'll be the Spirit inside. The Lord says, watch this. The Spirit speaks through us, especially saying what? It's going to say, Abba, Father. It's the Spirit that causes you to come into truth. It is the Spirit, not you. It is the Spirit. He does everything. And then he leads you to where he wants you to be. That's how it works. It is the Spirit who goes out and grab you and say, hey, come over here. Listen to this. It was the Spirit that did that. It wasn't me, wasn't no one else. Some of y'all just clicked on a channel by accident. You know what? Someone posted this. I don't know what this is. Let me go see what this is. And as you listening, the Spirit begin to start saying, hey, this is him. Hey, this is where I'm at. It's the Spirit that does that. Man, I want to leave, but you know what? Something inside of me keeps pulling me back, like saying, this is where it's at. I don't know what it is. I get life when I come here. I hear about some situation or hear the truth that I need to hear. I hear the truth from this page. The Father is always flowing something that I need at this moment. That's what the Spirit does. If man is fully complete, then what does he need the Father for? You're not complete until you have him in you. When you come into a covenant, whatever is of that covenant now is afforded to you too. So whatever the king has is also passed down to you. So what is the king's possession? Number one possession that he loves. Let me tell you what it is. The fear of, you understand? The fear of Yah. That is my prized possession. It's always been. I tremble at his word. Tremble at it. Now watch. What the people are given, watch what they're given. When the Father begins to restore everything back to you, something is given to the people, which lets me know the people don't have it previously because he has to give it to you. Now, the fear of Yah is my most prized possession. Solomon asked for wisdom. I asked to fear him. Why? That it says literally that the fear of Yah, it literally causes a man to literally hate evil. The fear of Yah keeps one from sin, keeps us from sin. The reply of the tongue is from Yah. Don't that tie in perfectly? So people are like, all right, wait a minute, hold up. So look what the Messiah was saying to us again. He was saying something from us from Proverbs. He says what? Um, when they arrest you and hand you over, do not worry beforehand what you are about to say, but say whatever is given you in that hour, for it is not you who speak, but it is the what? The Father's Spirit. The reply of the tongue is from Yah. Everyone who is proud in the heart, detestable to the Father, that's America. Be assured that he will not go unpunished. Um, by loving devotion and faithfulness, iniquity is atoned for. Watch this. And by the fear of Yah, one turns aside from evil. So the Father has said that you're not going back into captivity, right? He said, this is it. Now, to make sure that your behind don't go back into captivity, I got to give you something to keep that from happening, to keep me from being alive, right? You're not going back to captivity. The next time when the Messiah comes, he's coming back fighting against those who are trying to fight against, you know, the promised land, fighting against the kingdom. The kingdom will be built at that time, and people will be trying to come through to tear it down. That's what the battle of Megiddo is. There's no way that the Messiah says, "Hey, when I'm leaving your house, when all right, let's be real. People know. Hold on. Let's we're gonna be real. We're gonna let's have that. Let's have that family talk. You know. All right. Let's have this talk. All right. You know, your mom, dad been working. Heck, could be your grandma. You be grandma. Grandma, she done seen your room not be what it's supposed to be, right? And pretty much, um, grandma comes in and says, "Look, your room is dirty." She telling you your room is dirty. Then she says, "Right, what's she saying to you? Clean it up." And then she'll go a little bit first, like, you know what? When I have a meeting today, when I get back, that room better be what? Be the same or be cleaned up. If you want to test your grandma, you gonna just take it as she was just, you know, noticing your room. But if you have wisdom or the fear of Yah, you gonna understand what your grandma meant. She was telling you when she get back from her appointment, that room better be clean, or you better be look like you have been cleaning. You know. Now I'm gonna show what the Messiah said before he left. He is doing the same equivalence as that of a grandma or a mother or a father when they tell you your room is junky and we want you to clean it up. How a father and mother tell you how to clean up your room is because they notice it. I noticed your room was desolate. Your room is left desolate to you. Your house is left desolate to you. What they saying? Fix it. If your father sees your house desolate or sees your room destroyed or sees your room cluttered, when he leaves, he don't expect you just to sit down and just do nothing. When the time comes, he wants you, when he comes back, he wants to see, he wants to give another salutations. He want to give another greeting with your room looks nice in here. Looks good. Looks clean. So you can see the floor again. So the Messiah is saying to us, I see He says, your land is left unto you desolate. Does he want to come back and see your land still desolate? Now, wait. Let's go see if we can find that real quick. Your land is left to you desolate. Your house is left to you desolate. Look, look what he's saying. Lamentations, lament over where? The land. Why? Because the real name of the land is going to be in the book of Lamentations. Oh, the name that is in, Lamentations. Who kills the prophets? Look at this. So look what he's telling you right now. John the Baptist came as a witness in the last days, as the word said he would come, right? Which was Elijah, right? And you know, they killed them, beheaded them, right? Who kills the prophets? So he says the people of Yah kills the prophets and stones those sent to her. How often I long to gather your children together as hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you were unwilling. Look, your house is left to you desolate. For I tell you that you will not see me, him, again until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of Yah. So he says, there is one to come before I do. That's what the blessed is he. He said, for I tell you, will not see me again until you say, blessed is he who comes in a name, who comes in the name of the word. So he's telling you right now, someone else is coming before I do. Now, watch this. The whole world is waiting on him to come back. Think about that for a minute. This is the New Testament. So no one even have an excuse. So even the Christians don't have an excuse for not knowing. It just show you that people don't believe the Bible. That's what it means. They don't believe the Bible. They believe other things, but they don't believe the Bible. Because if they believe the Bible, they would simply understood what the Messiah said. He says, you will not see me again until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of Yah. But they're not saying that. They're literally saying everyone is waiting on the only begotten son of Yah to come right now. But I need to know is this, where have we said in history, blessed is he who comes in the name of Yah? And we find out we can't say the blessed in the name of Jesus. So if they said, blessed is he who comes in the name of Jesus, doesn't fit. And since the world, not of all the history of the church, did they ever get the Messiah's name right? Showing therefore that they were not friends with him. There's no one, speaking of, a lot of people say they had the spirit, didn't have it. Couldn't have. The word says so. The word says that no one can call the Messiah's name accursed, and no one can call him master, but by the Spirit. You see what I'm saying? If we're learning now that his name is something totally different than what we see, all the people who said that so-called Jesus is Lord, that's not his name. So who they just call Lord? See the pretty pickle? Now watch this. This is about to hurt. All those pastors says, did we not cast out devils in your name? Perform signs and wonders in your name. If his name is not Jesus, what name did they do it in then? Inquiring minds want to know. Witchcraft does work. That out there. I'm just we just looking at things. If his name is Yeshaya, no one has ever disrespected that name in the church, let alone call upon that name to cast out devils. I don't remember no one saying the name of Yeshaya, come out of him. Be healed in the name of Yeshaya. Have you ever heard that? Because if you didn't, now it makes sense why it said many people will say, Lord, Lord, Lord. And he'd be like, depart away from me, I never knew you. I mean, that's really ouch. That's like, that's ouch. Because that's everybody. Now that speaks now. I know those who say they are my people, but are not. But they call upon a whole other name. Now we understand we all done it. But there's a time when you grow. And when you begin to grow, the Father gives you different things. He gives you a new understanding, a new way of grasping things. You begin to grow in what you know. But if you were at the same part from the very beginning where you started at, there's no growth. Even the branch must grow. The tree's gonna grow. If you ain't growing, that means you dead. He didn't say I'm the father of this, I'm the people, I'm the Yah of the standstill. No, you gotta grow. He says those who don't grow, the branches that stop growing, they get cut off. Branches that begins to wither away. All right. So we ain't part of that. We're part of the ones that want to keep growing. But as we see now that the church has been turned on its head. Now look at all the names they ever used in the Bible. What name have they ever used to cast out devils, heal the sick in? They used the name of Jesus. If we come into a real area of his knowing his name, and we know that his name cannot be Jesus because the SUS part of the pig part, we know that his name is Yeshaya, Isaiah. Then what people you know that's using that name to cast out devils? They heal the sick. Just saying. No one will be able to do that but by the Spirit of the Father. Straight up. So get back to it. So the one who's going to be blessed is he who comes in the name of him must also have his spirit, right? So everything is given for the Father, right? So my greatest possession is having the fear of Yah, right? Because it turns one aside from evil. Now, watch this. The Father said he is going to give you the fear. Because you ain't going back to in captivity anymore, right? I will put fear in their hearts. I will put my fear. Look at this. Look what it is. It's an everlasting covenant. Promise of restoration. I will give them one heart, one way, so that they will always, not sometimes, not partially, not maybe, if we feel like it. You know what? I feel good today, so I'm gonna fear him. No, this is how you're gonna never fear him. This is how you're gonna never be banished again. He's gonna put himself in you, which is the fear of Yah, right? The fear of Yah is the beginning of understanding. It's the beginning of wisdom. It's the beginning of knowledge. I will give them one heart, one way, so that they will always fear me. Watch this, for their own good. You know what's best for you. You best be fearing me, because if not, I can shorten them days. Look what he said. He said it's not for me, but it's for your own good. I told you. I told you. So how in the world can man be filled with all these things if he ain't got no room for the Father? Father left a space specifically for him, and that's the room for the Spirit. I will give them one heart, one way, so that they will always fear me for their own good and for the good of their children after them. I will make an everlasting covenant with them. I will never turn away from doing good to them, never turn away from doing good to them. And I will put my fear in their hearts so that they will never turn away from me. Remember what it says, what the fear does? And by the fear of Yah, one turns aside from evil. And what I have desired of Father was to have fear of him. I've just been there since I was younger. Like I'm talking about like we young, like 8 years old. It's like I was up here reading the word. And when I was reading the word, all right, so Kusabi. So when I was younger, um, I was laying up on the bed. I was laying there just reading, right? Just sitting up here just reading. And I got to the part of Solomon, the father asking Solomon what he wants. Like, hey, pretty much you about to be king of all my people. It's like, what is it you want me to do for you? What do you want from me? Solomon didn't ask for anything. In fact, father's like, go to see what he asked him. We're gonna go there. I was like, take him there, like a story. So I'm taking you back to my childhood. See how I was asking. Solomon asked, there it is, for wisdom. That's exactly what I saw to type in. All right. All right, now watch this. So Solomon, all right, Solomon's prayer for wisdom. And Solomon said, Thou hast showed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he walked before you in truth and in righteousness and in rightness of heart with thee. And you have kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne. And it is this day. And now, O Yah, thou hast made your servant king instead of David, my father. And I am but a little child, and I know not how to go out or come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Give therefore your servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people? And the speech pleased the father, that Solomon had asked this thing. And the father said unto him, Because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor have asked the life of thy enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to your words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before you, neither after you shall any arise like unto you. And I have also given thee that which you has not asked, both riches and honor, so that they shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all your days. And if you will walk in my ways to keep my statutes and my commandments as you, and watch this. So your long life, now he wants to hit the long life. He says, Hey, I'll give you long life if what? If you keep my statutes, my commandments, right? All the days of your life, right? As your father David did walk, then I will lengthen your days. And Solomon, watch this, awoke, and behold, it was a dream. So every single thing he dreamed this. Do you understand? So Ezekiel, taken by the hair of his lock by into the spirit. Solomon had locks too. He's dreaming, and he came to the land, right? And stood before the ark of the covenant of Yah, and offered up burnt offerings and offered peace offerings, and made a feast to all his servants. Now, so you can see here, Solomon asked. Now, watch this. Let's start from the beginning. Solomon's rule consolidated. And Solomon made affinity with Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and took Pharaoh's daughter and brought her into the city of David until he had made an end of building his own house and the house of Yah and the wall of the land round about. Only the people sacrifice in high places. Only the people sacrifice in high places. Let me say that again. Only the people sacrifice in high places. So the feasts were kept where those high places were. That's going to be with the kingdom, with the kings, right? So wherever the king was at, that's where the king and his family, right? The king where the temple was going to be at. The temple is going to be in those high places, right? Only the people sacrifice in high places because there was no house built unto the name of Yah until those days, right? And Solomon loved Yah, walking in the statutes of David, his father. Only he sacrificed and burnt incense in high places. And the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place. 1,000 burnt offerings did Solomon offer upon that altar. In Gibeon, um, the father appeared to Solomon in a dream by night and said, ask what I shall give thee. Now we're going to see the part where it says he asked for wisdom. That's exactly what he said. Father said, you asked for wisdom. I love the word. All right, let's get it. Solomon asked for wisdom. All right. It says right here. It says, in the night, the father appeared unto Solomon and said unto him, ask what I shall give thee. The night, Yah appeared to Solomon and said to him, ask for whatever you want me to give you. So the father is willing, like, all right, let me, it's like a test, right? See let's see what your head is at. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to show something. That's what I'm showing right now. I'm trying to show. Kusabi family. That night, Yah appeared to Solomon and said to him, ask for whatever you want me to give you. Solomon answered, Yah, you have shown great kindness to David, my father, and have made me king in his place. Now, Father, Yah, let your promise to my father David be confirmed. For you have made me king over people who are as numerous as the dust of the earth. That's a lot of people. What did he say right there? Give me wisdom and knowledge that I may lead this people, for who is able to govern this great people of yours? Give me now wisdom and knowledge that I may go out and come in before this people, for who can judge thy people that is so great. And the father says, what? Because you asked for wisdom. Watch this. And father said to Solomon, because this was in your heart, and you have not asked riches, wealth, or honor, nor the life of your enemies, neither yet has asked long life, but has asked wisdom and knowledge for yourself, that you may judge my people over whom I have made you king. Wisdom and knowledge is granted unto thee, and I will give you riches and wealth and honor, such as none of the kings have had that have been before you, neither shall there any after thee have alike. Then Solomon came from his journey to the high place that was at Gibeon to Jerusalem, from before the tabernacle of the congregation, and reigned over Yisrael. Now, this is what I want to show. When I was reading this, and as I was reading this, I was laying down in the bed, and I heard the father says, What would you want for me to do for you? If you was king over my people, like I asked Solomon, what would you want? And I said, to fear you, to know you. Out of all my treasure, I want to fear you like David feared you. That's what I said to him. And over the years, I will always say, I want to fear you. I want to tremble at your word. I want to seek the face behind the name. And the funny part is, that's exactly what I've always written about was the fear of Yah, the fear of Yah, the fear of Yah, the fear of Yah. I mean, I did studies on the fear of Yah and was looking for it. I know when it came to the New Testament, like it just disappeared. But then I had to get some understanding and seeing that the fear of Yah went into some other things, right? Made up some other things. So he's going to, so watch this. In Isaiah 11, it says, he shall delight himself in the fear of boom. His delight will be and he will delight in the fear of Yah. He will not judge by what he sees with his eyes or decide by what he hears with his ears. The root is just, he will delight in the fear of Yah. So the fear of Yah is going to be his zone. Why? Because I know that by the fear of Yah, one escapes from sin. One stops doing sin. Like he shall delight, the fear of Yah shall be his delight. Because the fear of is the beginning of wisdom. So I asked the Father, what is for the beginning of wisdom? Wanted the fear of him. The fear of Yah is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. The fear of Yah is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. The fear of Yah is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. So if you don't fear him, you don't know him. You could say you know him, but not know him the way he wants you to know him. I know because I went through the same thing. Father says, I know you, but you don't know me. And I say, I do know you. Your name is Jesus. Needless to say, I still kept plugging away, kept doing what I knew. But when the witness came, you know, I have never ever heard him say to me, you do not know me. I got to look at you when I say that. That's powerful. When the witness came, I never ever heard him say, you don't know me. Not one time. Before, I used to hear him, you don't know me. You don't know me. You don't know me. I know you, but you don't know me. After the witness came, I've never ever heard him say, "You don't know me, but I know you, but you don't know me." It ties in perfectly saying the one who has the spirit of the Father cannot call the word accursed. And they cannot call the Messiah master, but by the Father's Spirit. The witness inside of me knows the Father. So the Father cannot say, I don't know you. When you get the fear of the Father that's coming to all of you, once He inputs that into you and you fear Him and tremble at His word, oh, happy day. That means you are never going back into captivity. Once our people receive the fear of Yah, He has put it inside you because it is a promise. But you will not get there without receiving the King. Behold, I'm going to give you as a covenant to the people. Because a covenant to the people, that means whatever I have, you have too. So if the Father has put His fear of Yah on me, and the other, saying other parts, the fear of Yah was the last spirit. There's other spirits that's given. But for you all, you're giving the fear of Yah. Why? Because you're in the beginning stages of what? Learning, knowing. The fear of Yah is the beginning of wisdom. Wisdom of what? Wisdom of Him. So He's going to cause for His people to know Him. And what's going to cause that is Him putting His fear in you. Here's my fear. Now I'm giving you an invitation to do what? Know me. Come and know me. Come and learn about me. Why? Because the knowledge is understanding of the Father. So, what we have learned thus far is rubbish. It's garbage. It's garbacho. It's garbacho. It's waste. Like everything we have learned of America previously is waste. What you see now is the real deal. America is at its end. The whole world is at its end. And so now they're going in, and they're going in bloody. They don't care who gets it, because honestly, they're tired of trying to hold up the blanket. One person was able to hold up the blanket at first, and then it got tiresome for them. So then one person held his end of the blanket, the other person hold their end of the blanket. Now they're getting ready to say, man, we about ready. Can we tear this blanket down? I mean, we've been doing a lot of stuff in their face anyway. Let's tear it down. But they're not invited. Okay, cool. So we're gonna have a bloodbath. And they've been letting you know what they want to do to you. Purge. If you look at the purge is literally mass murderings in one night. And no one is brought up on charges. Meaning what? When the day starts, when they start to decapitate people and cut their heads off, they're not going to see it as a sin. They're going to see it as them removing the trash from off the face of the earth. And that's real talk. You are not invited to the New World Order. Since you're not invited to the New World Order, what are we going to do with you? Get rid of you. We're already starting to do it already right now. That's why we're encouraging you. So the reports about the jab is going two ways. You, to encourage you to take it. But we got to also talk about the different ones who have died from it. That part is not for you. That part is for the heads. Oh, you. This is the part you receive. Get the jab. Get the jab. Go and get it. Now, despite the 100 or the 1,000 people that have had complications and have died from it, having both jabs, but they still want to let you know that they still recommend you getting it. I just gave the news to 2 people. I gave the news to you, who are the viewer, who is watching, to being encouraged to go get the jab. But to tell you also in the process, people have died. I'm like, why in the world would you tell me the people that died if you're trying to get me to get the jab? That part's not for you. That's why when after they done reported how many people have died, they always finish it up with a pick it up. So it goes down. Boom. These many people done died from receiving the jab. Fully, both jabs, they received them, but they still caught it and died. Then they go right back in it. But they said they would never have not wanting to receive the jabs, both of them, in the first place. Doesn't make sense. Like, why in the world, if you're trying to get me to receive the jab, why are you reporting the negative part of the jab? It's not for you. That's for the higher ups. How well is this project doing for us? Well, we had 1,000 people that have died after receiving the full version of the jab. Both of them. After receiving them, they died. That's for the higher ups. And then they go on and say, this is highly effective. It's doing what it was meant to do. You come on in. Now, this is your part. That was for them. This is for you. Come in and get protected now. Come on in and get protected. We're telling the world, telling the higher ups, this is what you ordered, what you have planned for years ago. When you needed a blood sacrifice, dang it, here it is. And if people don't understand what's going on, we're making it now to where we're about to make it to where you can't have a job without showing evidence that you don't have it or that you've been jabbed twice or in the process of being jabbed. And other jobs are going to completely shut things down because they are Freemasons. Anyone who is a Freemason and they have a job, employment, when they begin to put the squeeze on them, they have no choice but to authorize and make sure that those people who are working for them either have the jab or don't or can't work for them because they're a part of the plan too. If you're not a Mason at this time or a part of the Brotherhood, we want you out. You've already been out for a long time. You just want to go ahead and put your lights out now. Ever. That's what's going on. That's what's been going on. So the last movie, The Purge Forever. Forever Purge. So put the thought out there to you and then say, oh, we took it away. Nope. It's the Forever Purge right now. They have a look up the Noahide laws. Let's go see what the Noahide laws are. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Be like, wait a minute, what's the nearest ticket? What where where I need to go again? When y'all leaving again? Noahide laws. This was coming in. Now they put a lot of money into making these. So they didn't put a lot of money in here just to be putting them in there. Right? You need to see what the first law is. Right? Okay. So we're gonna find we need to find out what is the first law of the Noahide laws, okay, that they're doing right now. And by the way, this is their version of the Ten Commandments, okay? It's their version of it. This is their version of it. There. I'll put that there. Um, and punishment for breaking the Noahide law. Do you know decapitation is one of them? Getting your head cut off is one of the penalties for breaking the Noahide laws, right? So now if they're up under oath or code to get this bad boy done, guess what's going to happen now? If they're breaking them, that means one of them will get their heads decapitated. Just saying. I'm looking for the table. They got an image of it. I need to close out some of these windows. All right. Did it freeze over here? I close some of these windows out. All right. There is a place of them, but they keep not showing it. I've seen them before. I think it's like on YouTube, but I'm looking for it. Hold on. Okay. Said there. We're gonna find it. I think it's in New York. I know they have one there, but like Noah High, Stonehenge, or something like that. Ooh, they always have them out there. Stonehenge. I think we're getting close. Here they are right here. Look at this. Here it is. Here we go. We want to see what those words say. Because this is what's happening to the people right now. Right? The Georgia Guidestones. There we go. That's what we want. Mystery of the Georgia Guide. Let's put those in there. Has the Noahide laws on the Georgia Guidestones. There we go. Whew. All right. This is what's happening right now. Do you see? This is what I wanted to show right here. Bam. Do you see that number? You see that number? So then what number is that on here? Number 1. Do you see where they're at? They are right now enacting. The Noahide laws have been put into play. I believe everything of the New World Order or whatnot is all with these Noahide laws. Number 1, maintain humanity under. It's less than a billion. And perpetual balance with nature. Look at this. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Unite humanity with a living new language. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Do you see all this right here? This is the world that they're creating right now. This is what they're doing. The Georgia Guidestones. This is where we at. So they have a long way of achieving that number. That means a lot of people have to die. And guess what? When the people die, this is what it is. That what you don't see, right? That's not what's on there, per se, but that's what it is. This is what that is. So this was being enacted right now as we speak. This is what's going on right now with the world. Want to know what's happening? This is what's happening. Now, what is the penalty for breaking? Let's see. Penalty for breaking Georgia Guidestone law. So there's a penalty for breaking the Noahide laws, because that's what that is, the Noahide laws. Some of the categories of capital punishment. What is capital punishment? They're just tied in. It is. Whoever is found breaking one of these laws is subject to capital punishment. Decapitation. That's exactly what the penalty is. One of the penalty is for breaking the law. You get your head cut off. Now, do you see why Chanel have their own guillotine? Because they are all preparing for this. So let's type it in there. Decapitation for breaking Noah laws. Noah is with the Jewish people, right? An elaboration of the seven Noahide laws, Noahican laws, and in assigning a punishment for their transgressions. Look what it says: call them, be not called rabbi on the earth, right? It says them are sometimes the R's, the rabbits are sometimes more lenient and sometimes more rigorous with the Noahide than with the Israelites. With but a few exceptions, the punishment meted out for the Noahide for the transgression of for the transgression of any of the seven laws is decapitation. Now, for those who don't know what decapitation is, it says the least painful of the four modes of execution of criminals. So it says decapitation is the least painful. The least painful is decapitation. What's decapitation? Let's go see what that looks like. What does it mean to decapitate? Yep, about right. Now let's put in tation. There it is, right there. It's a way to get ahead in life. Decapitation means to have your head cut off. So it seems like Chanel is the
Decapitation.
action of cutting off the head of a person or animal, an attempt to undermine a group or organization by removing its leaders. Decapitation. Also known as beheading. I saw those who was beheaded. Revelations 20. Then I saw the thrones and those seated on them have been given authority to judge, and I saw the souls of those who have been beheaded for the testimony of the Messiah and for the word of Yah, and those who had not worshipped the beast or his image, and had not received his mark on their foreheads or hands. And they came to life and reigned with the Messiah for 1,000 years. The rest of the dead did not come back to life until the 1,000 years were complete. This is the first resurrection. So watch this. Now, I hope y'all getting this. I hope y'all getting where we about to head into. Let me look at y'all when I say this. People be like, wait a minute, hold up. Say what? Let me look at y'all when I say this. People be like, wait a minute, hold up. Say what? It said for 1,000 years. For 1,000 years, right? For 1,000 years, the people will be reigning with the Messiah for 1,000 years. for 1,000 years. That is right after the decapitation. So when you start hearing about people getting their heads cut off, you can see what mode where we're headed at. We're headed to the 1,000 years. So if Chanel has her guillotines and all that stuff ready, that's because we're about to move into 1,000 years, millennial. Right? So we're about to move into Satan being bound for 1,000 years. Because look, it shows it right here. The rest of the dead did not come back to life until after the 1,000 years were complete. Look at this. The ones who are getting their heads cut off, you know, who will now receive the mark on their foreheads, on the mark of their hands. So we see that the mark of the beast comes before the 1,000 years. So they ran with the Messiah for 1,000 years. The rest of the dead did not come back until after the 1,000 years were complete. This is the first resurrection. Now, watch this. After the 1,000 years are done, this is where we're gonna have a big old glitch at, right? Because it says after the 1,000 years, the Messiah dies. Wait a minute. The two witnesses dies right after the 1,000 years is up. Like, all right, we got 1,000 years. People been living, enjoying their life. Boom. Then if this is the time when the Messiah is on the earth, then it means is he dying too? And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that is sent out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. Wait a minute. It's after 1,000 years. After 1,000 years. See, look, the beast that is sent out of the bottomless pit. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that is sent out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. Right? So that's where we at right there. We coming to that. We haven't had mass killings of people having their heads, cut off. We haven't seen that yet. We've been waiting on it, but we ain't seen that yet. So let's see. Um, there it is. 20. Watch this. When 1,000 years are complete, Satan will be released from his prison. As soon as he's released from his prison, he's doing what? Killing the two witnesses. And then after he kills the two witnesses, he will go out to deceive the nations in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to assemble them for battle. Their numbers like the sand of the seashore. Now, at this time, the kingdom has been built. So they're coming against the kingdom. But before they get a chance to, fire will rain down on them from hell. Rain down on them from heaven and literally will burn them up. So literally, that is when the only begotten Son of Yah comes back by that time, and he saves the land. He saves all the people who are there. He saves them, completely saves them once and for all. It's all said and done. That's it. It's wrapped up. So, um, may the will of the Father be done on the earth as it is in the heavens. The Father is going to instill his fear in us, same thing as instilling his spirit inside of us. May his will be done. for all of us. In the mighty name of the Son, Yeshua. So be it. Well, that's our time. My name is King Music, and this has been a wonderful um, thing that I was just trying to bring out to the people, let them know what is happening, right? I might come back live, I might do a video or something like that. So may the Father have blessings on all of the people as what's about to start going on right now. Um, there's some stuff that's going to be showing up in the call part 5. I got a lot of stuff to get my head around already, shown some things before, but with this new stuff that's coming out also, I just quick before I get off here because y'all need to see this. Y'all need to prepare, right? And think about when the Father began to dry up brooks and dry up places, he was sending them somewhere else, or sending those people somewhere else, or sending his servants somewhere else, right? So I want y'all to think about that on this next video that I'm about to play. All right. It's been going on for at least about 5 or 6 years. I mean, 5 or 6 days. It's been going on for this video is like 5 or 6 days old. So go see that real quick. Look at that. Look, here's another part where we was talking about the spirit, right? We got to leave room for the Father. Look what it says: it's one nation with one king, right? My dwelling place will be with them. I will be their Yah, and they will be my people. My dwelling place will be with them. I will be their Yah, and they will be my people. I will make my home among them. My dwelling place shall be with them. My dwelling place will be with them. My tabernacle also shall be with them. I will be their Yah, and they shall be my people. Tabernacle. Now, a tabernacle means, they say when the Messiah came there, they say he came down and tabernacled among us. Now, the Messiah is one person, but it said that literally the Father was dwelling amongst us through the Son. And the house of my dwelling will be in them. And those, watch this, and those shall be a nation to me. What did you say right there? Shall a nation be born in one day? This the same day that you receive the Spirit. Same day. Before she goes into labor, she gives birth. Before the pains came upon her, she delivers a son. Can a country be born a day, or a nation be brought forth in a moment? Yet no sooner is Zion in labor than she gives birth to her children. Do I bring to the moment of birth and not give delivery? Meaning, Father says he's going to do what he said he will do. Also, at the same time in Isaiah 66, we see also, this is where you hear the same thing where the Father says, heaven is my what? My throne. And the earth is my footstool. And look what's happening all at the same time. The Spirit is given, rejoice with Jerusalem, but it's all taking place when the Father chooses a home. The way you just got through saying earlier, my dwelling place shall be among them. Boom. Here it is. His dwelling place. Heaven is my throne, the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that you will build me? Where's my place of rest? Meaning, during a millennial, through the 1,000 years, I'm gonna be among you. But where am I gonna be at? For all those things have my hands made, right? The heavens and the earth. And all those things have been made. Saith Yah, but to this man will I look, even to him that is poor of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word. What did he say? This is going to be my tabernacle. So he's saying, I'm going to be amongst you through the king. Right? My dwelling, my tabernacle. I will pitch my tent among them and will be their Yah. They will be my people. Right? My tent, not tents, tent also shall be with them. Be with them. It's going to be with them, like around them. Right? And I will be their Yah, and they shall be my people. And my tabernacle have been over them. And I have been to them for Yah, and they have been to me for a people. Right? So we need to understand this thing. Everything is being done by the Spirit. Everything. So they're, like they said, they're getting ready to start to unleash things on people, getting ready to start to kill them. It's gonna come out blatantly, where they're just gonna come out just cutting people's heads off. It's gonna come off that way. To blatantly, it's gonna get blatantly like that, to where they're gonna just be cutting people's heads off. That's what we're coming to, right? It's sad, but it's the truth. This is where we headed to. The Father is going to make his home amongst us. Like he said, and we just got through seeing that he's going to have a nation, right? With his people. Shall a nation be born in a day, right? Or in a moment. Because the Father is going to literally give us his spirit by giving us his fear. Now let me show that other thing I was going to show earlier. And then we're going to be done. Let me see. 40. There it is. This one. Some scary times for some people. But listen.
With the tank, we can look again, see the people we miss and the things we missed about them. You think you want answers?
What a mess. What an absolute mess. I mean, each time you say, oh, this is different than it was. What's it going to be like in October? What's it going to be like next April?
There isn't a lot about the Colorado River that Jack Schmidt doesn't know. He's been making research trips on it for decades. But he's never seen the river this low.
Look at this.
Yeah, you used to be able to back a truck in here right into the water.
Is this new this year, essentially?
Yeah, it's happened within the past 6 months.
I am stunned by how horrible this is.
The Colorado is the lifeline of the American Southwest. It runs nearly 1,500 miles, supplying water and electricity to 7 states and Mexico. Some 40 million people rely on its resources. But 20 years of drought, made worse by climate change, have brought things to a moment of crisis. This part of the river was once the upper end of Lake Powell, one of the 2 main reservoirs.
Lake Powell filled for the first time in 1980. That concrete ramp was filled with houseboats, people backing in motorboats, people water skiing, and now look at that. Essentially, 1999, 2000 was the last time the water was up at the base of that concrete ramp. And now it's lower than it's ever been since it filled.
It's not only Powell. Lake Mead, the river's other major reservoir above the Hoover Dam, is only about a third full. Unless things change, which they won't. This month, officials will declare a Tier 1 shortage for the first time ever. That means next year, major cutbacks are coming, starting with Arizona farmers. When that happens, a lot of farms will look like Nancy Kaywood's. She relies on water from another river, a tributary to the Colorado. It got so low, she was totally cut off in April.
So this out here, just looking at this, I mean, is this...
Take a look.
Is this dead now?
Well, we don't think it's going to green back up.
What were you growing here?
Alfalfa.
Uh-huh.
See the seed lines?
Uh-huh.
And how it's just all dead. Our dam has no water. We have no water, period. So this is my granddad, and he bought the farm in about 1930, and here he's in the 40s, and he's listing a field getting ready to plant cotton.
It's an amazing photo.
It's about the only picture I have of him on the farm. And this is our family. This was out in a cotton field. It's really hot. Everybody's squinting. It was in August.
What I'm struck by looking at this picture, you said it's August, but you're standing in a bright green field.
Beautiful green, and it's right over where that dead alfalfa is. Isn't that gorgeous? And that was taken in 2019.
I feel like we've been talking about this moment as a future thing for a long time. This idea that there's going to be a time when we have to reduce water usage. We have to pay attention to that. But being out here, it feels like that moment's here already.
It's here. Here we are.
And there's no turning back.
No. Right now, the population is not going to feel affected. Farmers are going to feel it.
Does that create a little bit of a divide where farmers are in this place where you're
Well, it
you're
doesn't
taking
seem
the
fair
brunt?
to me.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I think it does. There's a big push for land development here, encouraging industry to come in here, you know, new businesses, which means more homes. And as that happens, they're going to be using water just like we are.
The decisions over who loses water first were largely made back in 2019 as part of a drought contingency agreement between the states that use the river. It took 6 years to work out and was set to expire in 7. That means negotiators are already starting to worry about how they'll do it all again, with many states still trying to build new pipelines and developments, and even less water to go around. Tom Bushatsky is responsible for making Arizona's case and navigating all of these tensions.
Starting with the drought contingency plan discussions in 2018 and 2019, we have been talking about climate change and the hotter and drier future, really putting that point out there to the water users that we have to be prepared for that. And I think a lot of what's going on with the Colorado River is the hotter, drier future is already here, and it might get a little bit worse.
Is it fair that farmers who ostensibly are doing something that's sort of essential, growing food for us to live, that they're having to cut back when other people are watering their lawns and not having to limit their shower length?
That is a debate that has been growing, but the way the legal priority system works for water supplies, the farmers have that lower priority than the cities.
Do you think as this gets harder over the coming years that the interstate negotiations are going to get trickier?
So the harder it is in your state, the harder it will be between the states. So the answer is clearly yes to that question. It remains to be seen what will happen. I know that we collectively will negotiate something. We will. What it's going to be, I don't know. When it's going to be, I don't know, but failure is not an option. It isn't. Because otherwise, Mother Nature's going to take over.
There are no easy answers for this, are there?
There are not. And in water, there never are.
Do you think we're at a critical point?
I think we're at a point where the old ways will not suit us going forward. So we are at a political critical point where we need to really have hard-nosed talks about where is the best place to use water to do the best good for human society. We have lived with the imagination that there is more water to develop, and so we can increase development and it won't hurt anybody. But it is a zero-sum game. There's not any more extra water to develop.
Hoover Dam was the first major dam of its kind that was built, and at the time it was built, it was the largest in the world. It impounded Lake Mead, and downstream agriculture was the primary reason that it was built. We just recently passed a historic low in Lake Mead. It's now at the lowest level that it's been since it filled in the 1930s. In 2000, Lake Mead was at about 95%, which was about 15 feet below that walkway right now.
Just 20 so years ago?
2000.
Wow, that's kind of impossible to picture right now, standing here.
It's dramatic.
Do you expect it'll get back to that point?
We need at least 4 or more years of consecutive good runoff into the upper basin, good snowpack, for the reservoirs to be able to rebound completely.
Can you talk me through what these structures are?
These are intake towers. Water goes in, spins a turbine, which spins a generator and creates hydropower, which goes out to all of these power lines that you see.
That's how Las Vegas is lit up at night.
Las Vegas is lit up at night, and Arizona and California also receive power from Hoover Dam.
I'm waiting to feel my ears pop.
We produce our own power. These are little generators. There's one on the Nevada side too, and this is the power for the dam itself.
For the dam itself.
The way it works, as the reservoir level is high, there's more pressure pushing the water in to the pipes to the turbines. As it lowers, there's less pressure.
Is there a lower limit to how little water there can be in here for them to still work?
Elevation 950 is the lowest that we'd be able to go and still produce hydropower.
The water level at Lake Mead is currently around 1,067 feet.
So if the water level gets below 950, this dam will no longer really function as a generator of power.
That is true, but we don't anticipate that happening. Right.
Is it a little despairing for you to come out and see?
It's concerning. I mean, all of us are concerned, but I also have a lot of faith in the people that are working on the problem.
Yeah, man. So it's a little bit different out here now. So, the Father is showing what he's doing, and he's doing it. And what people don't understand is they got their own people speaking to them, telling them, hey, this was going on, this was happening. So those who doubt the word, it's like, hey, you doubt the word, this is what the word say, and this is what we see is happening. They're bearing witness to the people, like, this is what's happening. We need to do something. But the people of Yah, people of El Shaddai, they're going to be protected in the midst of this. And some people have to give their life. That's just what the word say. But notice that if you give your life for this truth, for the word, you know what I'm saying, and keeping the feast day, keeping the Sabbath days, not taking that jab, none of them. And you give your life for that reason, then guess what? The word said you're going to get up again. Now, I didn't say everybody going to get up, because some people going to get decapitated. And guess what? It says still some of them ain't going to make it. So, like, there's going to be some that's going to be beheaded. That's going to be the people or the Father. And there's going to be some who's be beheaded, and that's just their judgment. They're beheaded. You know what I'm saying? And they don't get up until the second death. And I guarantee you a lot of those in the second death, that's why he says, like, and many will say to me, was a lot going to say, did we not prophesy in your name? Why? Because a lot of those included in the beheading are going to be Christians. The word says, I will kill Jezebel's children with death. I'm just saying. So, all right. Yeah, have a good one. Thank you so much for your time. Remember, truth is not biased, it's absolute. King out.